Are you in the market for a futuristic portable power chair? Well, stay tuned to this video review. Hey, I'm Alex of Marc's Mobility. In this video, we're going to go over the C2 by WHILL. Now, the C2 has been out on the market for quite some time, but they have made some changes to the unit. So that's why we're doing another review video on this particular product. So if you've never seen the C2 before, a couple of the basic specs that I want to go over with you on the unit. It does have a 300-pound weight capacity. There are going to be three different seat sizes that you're able to get. You're able to get a 16-inch wide, an 18-inch wide, or a 20-inch wide seat. Now, one of the new enhancements that they made is they did offer a high back seat option as well. Before, the other back was what I would call a mid-height back. Now, the high back seat is only going to be available on the 20 or the 18-inch seat. So on the 16-inch seat, this high back is not available. But one advantage, if you are a small individual and you do want a 16-inch seat, the overall width of the unit is only going to be 21.5 inches. So why that's important is that 21.5 inches, if you do want to go on a cruise, you are able to fit through a regular cabin door, which is 22 inches. So you don't have to pay or upgrade to get one of the handicap rooms. But once again, if you are going with a larger seat, for example, this is the 20-inch seat. On this, it's going to put you at about 25.5 inches overall width to clear through a type of door frame. Now, when they did make some changes to the unit, they did increase the overall distance. So now you're going to get a little over 12 miles on a full charge. This is a lithium battery unit, but the lithium battery is about 270 watt hours. So that is going to be approved for all types of transportation. So what they're looking for flying with lithium is anything that's 300 watt hours and under is going to be approved. So this is going to be approved for all transportation. Now, a couple of advantages of lithium is lithium does charge at a faster rate. It is going to be a lighter type battery, and then it's also going to have a longer lifespan. So now the warranty on a unit like this is going to be 5 years on the frame, 2 years on the cushions, and then 1 year on the wheels and the electronics. Now, I can tell you these have very cool omnidirectional wheels. And if you actually watch when I move this unit, you'll see how it's something unlike really any other tire on the market of how it rolls and how it turns. So it almost glides, almost looks like it's not even creating any friction on the wheels. Those are rated they're rated for up to 1,200 miles of drive distance. So now I will say with 1,200 miles on the wheels, that's a very good drive distance. Only downside I'd potentially say is because it doesn't have much friction on the front wheels. I have tested these before in pretty thick grass, and it can drive in grass, but you're not really going to want to make a hard 90-degree turn because the wheels don't have a lot of grip to them. So we're going to make more of a looping type turn if you're in a softer surface. On the ground, obviously hard top surface, it's amazing of how it turns, but just want you to be aware of that depending on where you're going to be using this unit. It doesn't track the best on a hard right-hand or left-hand turn if you're in some type of thicker grass. Now, earlier I mentioned, I didn't realize we had the seat as well. This is an upgrade to have the higher back seat. This is what the standard cushion looks like. So if you can just imagine that sitting on there, you can see the extra probably about 8 inches of support that you would get from the high back seat. So I do think that's going to be a big enhancement as well. And there's actually going to be some height adjustment as well on the seats, whether you get the low back or the high back. You can see in here, there's a couple screws. If you loosen that up, you're able to shift that seat up and down. It also is going to shift at a 100-degree angle for the backrest. Now, there's actually there's one screw down here in the back at the pivot point. If you take that screw out, you're able to set it at 95 or 100 or 95 or 90 degrees, but it is going to shift at a 100-degree back angle when it comes from the factory. Joystick is on the right-hand side for this video demonstration. But if you are left-handed and you're ordering one of these, please specify that ahead of time because the manufacturer will actually have this mounted on the left-hand side. So when you install it, it would be on the left-hand side instead of having to switch the wire. It's not overly complicated. You can pop the rear shroud off or the side shroud over here and reroute the wire over to the other side. But it is going to make it a little bit easier if it is just done from the factory prior to you getting the unit. Now, when this unit first came out, they probably had about 4 or 5 color options. On the side, it was more like your black, your blue, your whites. I think there was red. Now there's 9 color options. So we're going to have that here in a video overlay so that you can see the different color options. You can see this really nice bluish teal color that we ordered here. I think that looks very pretty. They're not that expensive as well, and they are easy to change. So if you are somebody that likes to kind of mix and match what you look like based on what you're wearing, you can order some extra shrouds. They're very easy to pop in so that you are able to change that and get a different look. Now, this unit is going to come with what they call an IPX4 rating. So it's not waterproof, but it's very water resistant. So you can look up what that means online and how they test it to be able to get that approval. You are able to get a joystick cover. There's going to be many accessories that you're able to buy with this unit also that might show you in a video overlay the accessories. But for right here, once again, this is going to be IPX4 rating on the electronics. Now, something else cool that they mentioned is it's probably one of the only units if you are getting out of the chair. So for example, if you're sitting here and you want to push off the armrests, yes, you can flip the foot plate up with your heels, but something is very cool. I'm 200 pounds. If you look, I can stand on the foot plate. It is not going to tip forward. I mean, I'm sitting here rocking at 200 pounds. So that is a selling feature. If somebody wants to stand on the foot plate, get off the unit, stand back on the foot plate to get back in the unit, you are able to do that. Now, if you're right at 300 pounds, I'm not sure testing wise, but at 200 pounds, it's very easy to be able to stand on the foot plate and it is not going to tip on you. I also want to mention that these do come with a QR code. You're able to pair it to a phone. It is going to be shipped to you at the standard setting. Now, you are going to have a sport mode and you're going to have an eco mode. So eco mode would be more or less training. It's going to be at about 2.5 mile an hour speed as compared to closer to that 5 mile an hour speed. If you go to the sport mode, it doesn't increase the overall speed, but what it does do, it does increase your acceleration, your deceleration, and your turning speeds. Now, I'll also mention you are able to drive the chair as well from the app. Only downside is it does reduce the speed, I think, to about 1.5 miles or 1.2 miles an hour. So it is going to be a slower speed setting when you're driving it through the app, but you are able to control it through the app and then be able to stand here and drive the chair around. So if you have a loved one in the chair and you want to walk next to them, you can control it. Or worst case, if you didn't have the app, you could stand next to it like this and still have the full speed, but through the app, it will reduce the speeds. So once again, do look at that on the app. It is a pretty cool feature to have. But do know if you are driving it through the app, it will be a reduced speed. And then you can change from eco to standard to sport mode all through the app. And when you turn it off, it will be pre-programmed to that speed setting. And then you do have to go back in the app if you want to change it out from one of those different modes. So another cool feature, all power chairs and scooters are going to have motors on them that you are able to disengage the motor to put it in freewheel. A design that they came up with, most levers are back here in the back. They can get bumped, whether it's by an animal, by a child, by different things. These are kind of tucked in here, this red lever, but what I wanted to show you as well, it is going to speak to you. So it is actually telling you, please re-engage your red lever. So this actually speaks to you if for some reason you couldn't figure out why is this chair not operating. It does actually tell you when you try to drive the unit of re-engaging the red lever to then be able to drive. So typically when you put that lever from freewheel back into gear, you do have to reset the power. This one looked like it actually just turned the power off. So once again, turn the chair back on. You are going to have 4 different drive profiles on the unit as well. And just imagine if the 4th profile is your fastest speed, well then it's going to be at about 25% increments how it's going to slow it down all the way down to speed 1. It is going to be a nice display on the joystick also. Like right now it's saying 99%. Which means basically you're 100% full on the charge. Now your battery in the back of the unit, there's a button that you can press and it comes out very easily. Now I will tell you back here, there is a charging port. So if you do want to take just your battery inside, you are able to charge this battery. One thing they do say, you have a little cover right here for your charger. Make sure that that is fully pushed in because water can get into there and ruin your battery. So this tab can pop out. But they do recommend that you do have this tab fully inserted because if that is not fully inserted and you get water in there, you can damage the battery. Once again, battery just slides right in very easily and with its own weight, it's about 6 pounds, slides right back into place and clicks in so you know you are secure and able to drive the unit. There are going to be some accessory bars up here in the front. So some of your accessories that we'll show you as well are going to mount right to those accessory bars. And then what makes this unit great is it is very easy to disassemble. One of the cool things they did, if you remove your cushion, you actually have a hole right here that shows you the top of the seat post. So when you do remove the seat and you're trying to put it back on, a lot of times you had to look and try to line it up. Where here, you actually have a visual hole right here in the actual seat pan, so you're very easy to be able to see when you're putting the seat back on. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you now. It does come apart. You are going to have a front basket that also is able to be removed. So now once your seat is off and your front basket is removed, if you take your battery out, it's going to take 6 pounds off the unit. I'm going to set this over here on the cushion. And then from here, you are able to take the front and back apart. So there is going to be a little lever right here. And once you take this apart, it kind of rocks back. And this is going to be your front section. This is going to be your rear section. We'll put the weights on the screen of what the rear and the front section are. But it is very easy to then put back together. You're basically just going to slide the front back in, tilt the back forward, and it does snap back in place. Seat post is going to be at the lower height, but this seat post is also going to be adjustable in height as well. So you are able to adjust the seat to ground height on the unit. Then you're going to take your rear battery, click that back into place. So now once your battery's back in, I'm going to go ahead and take this. This basically just clamps right on. And then you can take your seat, just like I showed you before. Take your seat with the hole aligned, drop it right in. It's very straightforward. There's actually a metal post in there that slides right into the seat post. And then you can take your bottom seat cushion and then put this back into place right here. Now what you're also going to have on the unit is the armrest. There is going to be a tab right here on both sides, so the armrests do flip back on both sides. And if you do take the side storage off, or the side cover off, you're going to have 2 Allen screws right here, so you can actually adjust the arm height as well. So they have thought a lot about on these units and a lot of the engineering that goes behind this. The C2 has been out for quite some time. It is a very well-tested product on the market. In my opinion, it is very nice. Obviously, it's a little bit heavier of components when you're breaking it apart, but if you're looking for a unit that is going to be high-tech, many high-tech advancements such as the app that you're able to control it with, the C2 is a great unit. And now if you follow us outside, we're going to do a little driving demonstration. So what we have here is the C2 by WHILL. You can obviously see it's got some pretty good acceleration. This is going to be the normal speed mode that I believe we have this on. So this is going to be your normal turning speed. Once again, I mentioned to you earlier that you are able to change it to eco, or you can all go into the sport mode. Sport mode would just make this turn faster, but it's not going to actually accelerate. It would accelerate faster, but it's not going to get any more top end speed than this. It's about 5 miles an hour. It is actually pretty nice on the standard mode because it doesn't accelerate super fast, but once you get going, you can feel it really kick in, start to get a higher speed. You can see the wheels like I'm talking about, how they have that omni-directional type wheel on there. It's a very cool wheel design. The only downside is going to be a little bit traction in grass, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. For reference, I'm 6 foot tall, 200 pounds, so you can kind of see the seat back, how it fits me on my back. It is going to be comfortable. And now I'm going to go over here and drive it in the grass so you can kind of see what I was talking about just traction-wise. All right, so C2, like I said, plenty of power. It's just you can feel it, kind of want to hesitate. It still turns, but obviously doesn't turn as quickly as it would on paved surfaces because of the traction. So what I was talking about is if you were to go and kind of make more of a turn, of a looping turn, it's going to be a lot better than just trying to sit here and turn. Now this is not the thickest of grass, so it might not be the best representation, but you're not going to want to take this on St. Augustine or anything crazy. So still does perform, but it's just not one of those where it's going to instantly grip. Sometimes it wants to kind of slide. But once again, driving straight and then making more of that looping turn like this, which is still not a problem for people, it would turn very well and very easily. So it is a comfortable unit. It does still have plenty of power even when you're driving it in the grass. So I am really excited about some of the changes that WHILL came out with the new C2, with the high back seat, the colors, the overall distance being a little bit farther. So if you're in the market and you want a high-tech power chair, go ahead and take a look at the C2 by WHILL.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And my name is Alex. We're co-owners of Marc's Mobility.
I started this company in 1995.
We sell many products, not just what you see in this video. If you have any questions or concerns, please call us at the number below at 800-677-6293. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.